The Kingdom of Ndongo, a prominent historical entity in Central Africa, emerged as a significant power during the late 15th to early 17th centuries.
Located in what is now modern-day Angola, Ndongo occupied a strategically important region that spanned the fertile highlands and river valleys between the Luanda Bay and the Congo River Basin.
This geographical positioning not only facilitated trade but also made Ndongo a crucial player in regional politics and economics. The kingdom was renowned for its formidable resistance against Portuguese colonization efforts and for its sophisticated political and social systems. Ndongo's resistance to European expansionism was emblematic of the broader struggles faced by African kingdoms during the Age of Exploration and Colonization. The kingdom's capital, Embark, was a bustling center of trade and cultural exchange, reinforcing its status as a pivotal player in Central African history. The Kingdom of Ndongo emerged as a significant power in Central Africa during the late 15th century.
It was formed through the unification of various smaller chiefdoms and tribal groups, driven by the need for greater political and economic consolidation. The early settlers of Ndongo were Bantu-speaking peoples who established agricultural communities in the fertile lands of the region.
Over time, these communities coalesced under a central leadership, creating a more unified political entity. One of the key figures in the establishment of Ndongo was Ngola Kilwanji. He is often credited with founding the Ndongo dynasty and laying the groundwork for the kingdom's expansion and consolidation. His leadership and military skills were crucial in uniting the disparate chiefdoms and strengthening the kingdom's position. Subsequent rulers, including Ngola Kimbande and the renowned Queen Nzinga, continued to build on this foundation, navigating both internal governance and external challenges with strategic acumen and resilience. The Kingdom of Ndongo was strategically situated in what is now modern-day Angola. Its territory lay between the Luanda Bay and the Congo River Basin, encompassing the fertile highlands and river valleys that provided both agricultural prosperity and natural defenses. The capital city, Embark, was centrally located within the kingdom and served as a vital hub for political and economic activities.
The geographic location of Ndongo played a crucial role in its development.
The kingdom's access to the Congo River and the Atlantic coast facilitated its participation in extensive trade networks. This positioning enabled Ndongo to engage in commerce with neighboring regions and Portuguese traders, trading goods such as ivory and copper, which contributed to its economic prosperity. Additionally, the natural topography of the region, including its elevated highlands and dense forests, offered significant defensive advantages. The rugged terrain made it difficult for invaders to penetrate the kingdom, allowing Ndongo to maintain its sovereignty and navigate external threats effectively. At the heart of the Kingdom of Ndongo's political structure was the Ngola, the title given to the king or ruler of the kingdom. The Ngola held supreme authority over both the governance and spiritual aspects of the kingdom. As the central figure in the political hierarchy, the Ngola was responsible for making critical decisions, leading military campaigns, and overseeing the administration of justice. His role was not only political but also ceremonial, as he was believed to possess divine attributes that legitimized his rule. The Ngola's influence extended throughout the kingdom, shaping policies and decisions that impacted every facet of life. His authority was both respected and feared, and his ability to maintain stability and prosperity was crucial to the kingdom's well-being. The Ngola was supported by a council of advisors, including nobles and elders, who helped in the administration of the kingdom and provided counsel on important matters. Succession to the throne was a highly regulated process, often guided by traditional customs and practices. Typically, the succession was determined by a combination of hereditary rights and the approval of influential nobles and advisors. While the position of Ngola was generally passed down through the royal family, the choice of successor was influenced by considerations of competence and political alliances. The royal family played a significant role in the governance of Ndongo. Members of the royal family were often appointed to key positions within the administration, such as regional governors or military commanders. This not only ensured the distribution of power but also helped maintain loyalty to the Angola. The involvement of the royal family in governance reinforced the central authority and facilitated the integration of various regions within the kingdom. The administrative structure of the Kingdom of Ndongo was designed to manage its vast territories and diverse populations effectively. At the top of this structure was the Angola, who served as the ultimate authority. Beneath him was a hierarchical system of officials and administrators who were responsible for different aspects of governance. The kingdom was divided into several administrative units, each governed by appointed officials. These units were often based on traditional tribal divisions, which helped to maintain local customs and governance structures while integrating them into the broader kingdom. This system of local governance ensured that the kingdom could manage its territories efficiently while respecting the autonomy of individual communities.
Local governance in Ndongo was characterized by a blend of centralized and decentralized elements.
The kingdom's administrative organization incorporated local chiefs and tribal leaders into the governance framework, allowing them to manage their communities while adhering to the overarching authority of the Angola. This approach facilitated a degree of local autonomy and maintained traditional practices, which helped to integrate the various tribal groups into the kingdom's political system. The integration of tribal communities was crucial for maintaining harmony and stability within the kingdom. By incorporating local leaders into the administrative structure, the Angola could ensure that the diverse populations of Ndongo were represented and that their interests were considered in the governance process. This system of local governance also helped to manage conflicts and promote cooperation among different groups, contributing to the overall cohesion and effectiveness of the kingdom's administration.
In the Kingdom of Ndongo, society was organized into a distinct hierarchical structure that defined the roles and status of its members.
At the top of this social hierarchy was the Angola, the king, who was both the political and spiritual leader. Directly below the Angola was the royal family, including his wives, children, and other close relatives, who occupied high-status positions within the kingdom.
The nobility and elite class comprised the high-ranking officials, including advisors, regional governors, and military commanders.
These individuals held significant power and influence, assisting in the administration of the kingdom and ensuring the implementation of the Angola's policies. They were often drawn from prominent families and played a crucial role in maintaining the kingdom's stability and governance. The middle class consisted of skilled artisans, traders, and landowners. These individuals contributed to the economic prosperity of the kingdom through their trades and agricultural activities.
Artisans and craftsmen were responsible for producing valuable goods, while traders facilitated commerce both within and beyond the kingdom's borders.
At the lower end of the social hierarchy were the commoners and laborers, who engaged in agricultural work, manual labor, and various service roles. Despite their lower social status, these individuals were essential to the kingdom's daily functioning, providing the labor necessary for sustaining the economy and supporting the higher social classes. The cultural life of Ndongo was rich and varied, characterized by a range of traditional ceremonies, rituals, and artistic expressions. These practices played a crucial role in reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity within the kingdom. Traditional ceremonies and rituals were integral to Ndongo's cultural practices. These events were often centered around key life events such as births, marriages, and funerals, as well as seasonal and agricultural cycles. Ceremonies were conducted to honor the ancestors, seek blessings for the kingdom, and ensure the prosperity of the community. One of the most significant festivals in Ndongo was the annual Harvest Festival, which celebrated the end of the agricultural season and gave thanks for the bountiful crops. This festival featured communal feasting, music, dance, and traditional rites performed by the Angola and other community leaders. It served both as a time of celebration and a moment for reinforcing social bonds and cultural traditions. Artistic expressions in Ndongo were deeply intertwined with the kingdom's cultural and social life. Music and dance were central to both ceremonial and recreational activities. Traditional music often involved the use of drums, flutes, and other indigenous instruments, creating rhythms and melodies that accompanied dance performances. These dances were not only a form of entertainment but also a means of storytelling, passing down historical and cultural narratives through movement. Visual arts in Ndongo included a variety of crafts such as pottery, beadwork, and sculpture.
Artisans created intricate designs and symbols that held cultural significance, often used in ceremonial contexts or as adornments for personal and communal use.
The craftsmanship reflected the kingdom's artistic traditions and contributed to its cultural heritage. The economy of the Kingdom of Ndongo was diverse and robust, relying on a mix of agriculture, trade, and craftsmanship to sustain its population and support its political and social structures.
Agriculture was the cornerstone of Ndongo's economy.
The kingdom's fertile highlands and river valleys provided ideal conditions for growing a variety of crops. The primary staples included millet, sorghum, and maize, which were essential for feeding the population. The agricultural surplus not only supported the local diet but also contributed to the kingdom's economic stability.
Craftsmanship was another vital economic activity. Artisans in Ndongo produced a range of goods, including pottery, textiles, and metalwork.
These handcrafted items were used both within the kingdom and for trade with neighboring regions. The quality and intricacy of Ndongo's crafts were highly valued, and they played a significant role in the kingdom's cultural identity and economic prosperity.
Trade was a key component of Ndongo's economy, facilitated by its strategic geographic location.
The kingdom's access to major trade routes allowed it to engage in extensive commercial activities, exchanging goods with neighboring regions and distant traders. This trade included not only local resources but also exotic items that were highly prized. Ndongo's economy benefited from a variety of valuable resources.
Among the most important were ivory and copper.
Ivory, sourced from the region's abundant wildlife, was highly sought after for its use in art and trade.
Copper was another critical resource, used for crafting tools, weapons, and decorative items.
These resources were integral to both the kingdom's internal economy and its external trade relations. Additionally, the fertile lands of Ndongo supported extensive agriculture, contributing to the kingdom's self-sufficiency and economic resilience. The surplus of agricultural products allowed Ndongo to trade with other regions, exchanging foodstuffs and other goods for items not available locally. Ndongo's location positioned it advantageously along major trade routes that connected Central Africa with the broader Atlantic world. The kingdom engaged in trade with various neighboring regions and kingdoms, including the Congo Kingdom to the west and the Lunda Empire to the east.
This network of trade relations facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices.
The kingdom's involvement in the trans-Saharan trade network also allowed it to access a wider range of products, including textiles, salt, and metals. These trade connections contributed to the economic prosperity of Ndongo and its influence in the region. Trade had a profound impact on the prosperity and cultural development of Ndongo.
The influx of goods from trade networks enriched the kingdom's economy and provided its people with access to a diverse array of products. This economic wealth supported the kingdom's political stability and enabled the Ngola to maintain and expand his influence. Cultural exchange was another significant outcome of Ndongo's trade activities. Interaction with traders and neighboring kingdoms facilitated the exchange of ideas, art, and technologies. This cultural interchange contributed to the kingdom's rich cultural tapestry and influenced its artistic and social practices. Despite its relative stability and prosperity, the Kingdom of Ndongo faced several internal conflicts and challenges that tested its unity and governance. Internal disputes often arose from succession crises, power struggles among the nobility, and regional rivalries. Succession to the throne could be contentious, particularly when there was no clear heir or when different factions within the royal family or among the nobility had competing claims. Such disputes could lead to factionalism and instability, undermining the kingdom's cohesion and weakening its central authority. Regional rivalries also played a role in internal conflicts. Ndongo's diverse population included various ethnic and tribal groups, each with its own interests and agendas. Managing these diverse groups and maintaining harmony among them was a constant challenge. Local leaders and tribal chiefs sometimes resisted the central authority, leading to conflicts and tensions that could disrupt the kingdom's stability. The arrival of European explorers and traders in Central Africa in the late 15th and early 16th centuries introduced new dynamics to Ndongo's external relations. The Portuguese, in particular, were active in the region, seeking to establish trade routes and influence over local kingdoms. Their presence posed a direct challenge to Ndongo's sovereignty and economic interests. The Portuguese were interested in exploiting the region's resources, such as ivory and slaves, and establishing trading posts along the coast. Their attempts to penetrate the interior and negotiate trade agreements with Ndongo often led to tensions and conflicts. The kingdom had to navigate these interactions carefully to protect its interests and maintain its autonomy in the face of European pressure. Ndongo also faced conflicts with neighboring kingdoms and empires, which were driven by competition for resources, territorial disputes, and shifting alliances. The kingdom's strategic location made it a focal point in regional power struggles, and its interactions with neighboring states often involved both diplomacy and military engagement. One notable conflict was with the Congo Kingdom to the west, which was a powerful rival in the region. The two kingdoms engaged in periodic skirmishes and disputes over territory and trade routes. These conflicts were influenced by both political and economic factors, as each kingdom sought to expand its influence and control over lucrative trade networks. The Lunda Empire to the east also presented challenges to Ndongo. The Lunda were a dominant force in the region, and their expansionist ambitions sometimes brought them into conflict with Ndongo. The competition for control over key resources and trade routes contributed to periodic tensions and hostilities between the two kingdoms. The decline of the Kingdom of Ndongo was the result of a combination of internal and external factors that eroded its stability and power over time. Internal strife was a significant contributor to the kingdom's decline. Succession crises and power struggles weakened the central authority, leading to factionalism and instability. Disputes among the royal family and influential nobles often resulted in fragmented leadership and reduced the effectiveness of governance. The inability to manage internal dissent and maintain cohesion among diverse tribal groups further compounded these issues. Additionally, the economic strain caused by prolonged conflicts and wars affected the kingdom's ability to sustain its resources and administrative functions. The kingdom's once thriving economy faced disruptions due to the ongoing conflicts and the shifting nature of trade networks. Externally, the kingdom faced increasing pressure from European colonial powers, particularly the Portuguese. The Portuguese were determined to expand their influence in Central Africa and were successful in establishing trade posts and military outposts along the coast. Their encroachment into Ndongo's territory and their efforts to control trade routes weakened the kingdom's economic base and strategic position. Conflicts with neighboring kingdoms and empires, such as the Congo Kingdom and the Lunda Empire, also contributed to the kingdom's decline. These external pressures, combined with the Portuguese incursions, led to a series of military defeats and territorial losses that undermined Ndongo's power and control. The combined effect of internal disunity and external pressures ultimately led to the kingdom's decline and eventual dissolution, with its territories becoming increasingly fragmented and absorbed into neighboring powers. The legacy of the Kingdom of Ndongo continues to resonate in contemporary Angola and Central African culture. The kingdom's history is a testament to the resilience and agency of African societies in the face of external pressures and internal challenges. Ndongo's resistance against Portuguese colonization, particularly the efforts of Queen Nzinga, has become an emblematic story of resistance and empowerment. The cultural and historical contributions of Ndongo are reflected in the traditions, folklore, and cultural practices of modern Angola.
The kingdom's influence can be seen in local art, music, and ceremonies that trace their origins back to Ndongo's rich cultural heritage.
Efforts to preserve the historical and cultural heritage of the Kingdom of Ndongo have been undertaken by various scholars, historians, and cultural organizations. Archaeological sites, oral histories, and historical records have been used to reconstruct and understand the kingdom's past. These efforts are crucial for maintaining the memory of Ndongo and ensuring that its contributions to Central African history are recognized and celebrated. Museums, cultural centers, and educational programs in Angola and beyond play a role in preserving and promoting the legacy of the Kingdom of Ndongo.
These initiatives help to raise awareness about the kingdom's history and cultural significance, contributing to a broader understanding of Central African heritage.
Understanding and preserving the history of the Kingdom of Ndongo is vital for several reasons.
First, it provides valuable insights into the complexities of pre-colonial African societies, demonstrating the sophisticated political, economic, and cultural systems that existed long before European intervention. Recognizing the kingdom's achievements and challenges enriches our comprehension of Central African history and the diverse experiences of its peoples.
Second, preserving the history of Ndongo helps to honor and acknowledge the legacy of its people.
By maintaining historical records, artifacts, and cultural practices, we ensure that the contributions of the Kingdom of Ndongo are not forgotten. This preservation fosters a greater appreciation for the region's heritage and reinforces the importance of historical continuity in shaping contemporary identity. In summary, the Kingdom of Ndongo's history is a testament to its significant role in Central African history and culture. Reflecting on its legacy underscores the importance of preserving and celebrating the rich tapestry of African heritage, which continues to influence and inspire current and future generations.